terrorist is dead. The architect and chief
This
engineer
is
of the
CGRB,
world's most active
Conservative
state
Gospel Radio
sponsor of
broadcast,
terrorism has been
and this is our
removed
current news.
from the battlefield at the hand of the United States military.
McConnell and Schumer address
No man alive
Soleimani
was more
airstrikes.
directly responsible for the deaths of more American service members
Today is
than
Friday,
Qasem Soleimani,
January
the
the
leader of the
3rd,
Quds Force within
2020.
Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Soleimani's schemes and his agents killed hundreds of American service members in Iraq and Afghanistan. He personally oversaw the state-sponsored terrorism that Iran used to kill our sons and our daughters. And as we've seen in recent days and weeks, he and his terrorists posed an ongoing and growing threat to American lives and American interests. Soleimani made it his life's work to take the Iranian revolutionary call for death to America and death to Israel and turn them into action. But this terrorist mastermind was not just a threat to the United States and Israel. For more than a decade, he masterminded Iran's malevolent and destabilizing work throughout the entire Middle East. He created, sustained, and directed terrorist proxies everywhere from Yemen to Iraq to Syria to Lebanon. Innocents were killed. These sovereign countries were destabilized. In Syria, this leading terrorist and his agents acted as strategists, enablers, and accomplices to Bashar al-Assad's brutal repression and the slaughter of the Syrian people. In Iraq, his violence expanded Iran's influence at the expense of the Iraqis themselves. Countless Sunni Arabs and paved the way for the rise of ISIS. And with ISIS largely defeated, Soleimani and his agents again turned their sights on controlling the Iraqi people, who through massive protests are rejecting not only a corrupt government, but also Iran's influence over that government. And once again, there were Iran and its proxies facilitating violence against these peaceful protesters. For too long, this evil man operated without constraint, and countless innocents have suffered for it. Now his terrorist leadership has been ended. Now, predictably enough, in this political environment, the operation that led to Soleimani's death may prove controversial or divisive. Although I anticipate and welcome a debate about America's interest in foreign policy in the Middle East, I recommend that all senators wait to review the facts and hear from the administration before passing much public judgment on this operation and its potential consequences. The administration will be briefing staff today on the situation in Iraq. We're working to arrange a classified briefing for all senators early next week. For my part, I've spoken to the Secretary of Defense, and I'm encouraged by the steps the U.S. military is taking to defend American personnel and interests from a growing Iranian threat. I know I speak for the entire Senate when I say that my prayers are with all American diplomats, personnel, and brave service members serving in Iraq and in the Middle East. I'm grateful for their courageous service to protect our country. Right from the outset of this new year, it is already clear that 2020 will require the Senate and our whole nation to redouble our resolve to keep America safe in this troubled world. Now, Mr. President, on an entirely different matter, of course, we also anticipate that another totally different, very serious item will be heading the Senate's way soon. The Senate will have to address some of the deepest institutional questions contemplated by our Constitution. We'll have to decide whether we're going to safeguard core governing traditions or let short-term partisan rage overcome them. Back in December, I explained how House Democrats' sprint into the most rushed, least fair, and least thorough impeachment inquiry in American history has jeopardized the foundations of our system of government. Last spring, Speaker Pelosi told the country, quote, "Impeachment is so divisive to the country that unless there's something so compelling and overwhelming and bipartisan, I don't think we should go down that path." That was the Speaker less than a year ago. Back in 1998, when Democrats were busy defending President Clinton, Congressman Jerry Nadler said, "There must never be a narrowly voted impeachment or an impeachment substantially supported by one of our major political parties and largely opposed by the other. Such an impeachment would lack legitimacy," said Congressman Jerry Nadler 20 years ago. That was obviously a standard when the Democrat was in the White House. But ultimately, House Democrats cared more about attacking President Trump than keeping their promises, so they rushed through a slapdash investigation. They decided not to bother with the standard legal processes for pursuing witnesses and evidence. Don't have time to do that. Chairman Adam Schiff told the entire country on national television that getting court decisions takes a long time. He didn't want to wait. It takes a long time to go to court. So they just plowed right ahead, with a historically weak case, and impeached a duly elected president with votes from just one political party. Democrats have let Trump derangement syndrome develop into a kind of dangerous partisan fever that our founding fathers were afraid of. And then, Mr. President, just before the holidays, this sad spectacle took another unusual turn. As soon as the partisan impeachment votes had finished, the prosecutors began to develop cold feet.
No,
instead of sending the articles to the Senate, they flinched.
Not in the middle of the night.
They flinched.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's right.
And then she said,
The same people who just
well,
spent weeks
if you're
screaming that impeachment was so serious and so urgent
and
that it couldn't wait for due process, now decided it could wait indefinitely while they checked the political winds
you
and
know,
look for some new talking points.
I got fluid now. I know I need to go and I need to get it off of me.
This is yet another situation where the House Democrats have blown right past
I just ain't doing it.
the specific warnings of our founding fathers.
I'll just have to try to be
Alexander
as careful as
Hamilton
I can. Not
specifically warned about the dangers of a, quote, procrastinated determination of the charges in an impeachment. He explained it would not be fair to the accused and it would be dangerous for the country. Speaker Pelosi apparently does not care. Her Congress is behaving exactly like the, quote, intemperate or designing majority in the House of Representatives that Hamilton warned might abuse the impeachment power. So, as House Democrats continue their political delay, they're searching desperately for some new talking points to help them deflect blame for what they've done. We've heard it claimed that the same House Democrats who botched their own process should get to reach over here into the Senate and dictate our process. We've heard claims that it's a problem that I've discussed trial mechanics with the White House. Even as my counterpart, the Democratic leader, is openly coordinating political strategy with a speaker who some might call the prosecution.
Okay. You been listening to Mitch McConnell and addressing the Soleimani airstrike and talking on impeachment on the Senate floor. All right, I'm gonna put this in full on my playlist, CGRB broadcast on the playlist. So if you want to watch this in full, you can just go to my playlist. And I want to thank you very much for visiting our channel, and hopefully we can keep everybody informed, because we are a conservative network, and we are a Bible-based network. So God bless you, and go to my playlist, and you'll find this on the playlist. Thank you very much.